This is my 1963 one owner from new, original paint, patinaed Volkswagen Beetle. Now this car has been parked in a garage since 1983 until 2 years ago when I bought it. Now here's a few photos of it in the garage before I dragged it out and brought it home. Now for most of those 2 years, this poor little car has been sat at two different welders. One welder that didn't really do much to it. The second welder completed it and did all the sort of relevant welding to get it structurally solid and ready to be returned back on the road. Now here's a few little videos from when I picked it up just a couple of weeks ago. So here it is, the UK one owner 63 Beetle. We have now picked it up from Jeff's. He's done a fantastic job of welding it, keeping as much of the original paint and panels as possible. So now we're going to get it back to my garage, unload it, and we'll have a proper look around it. I thought I'd just introduce you to my two apprentices. I've got a little Peggy here, and then I've got my youngest apprentice, which is Gary here. Say hi, Gary.
How do you do?
So now the Beetle's back from the welders, let's have a look at the paperwork, as that is one of the most interesting things about this car. Now this is one of the best things about the car, the history, because there is absolutely loads of it. Now let's start with my favourite bit, which is the sort of receipt, bill of sale, from when Mrs. Matthews bought the car in August 63, which would have been, this Beetle would have been brand new then, and she swapped it in for that vehicle reg there, UBP 547. And I'm sure the son told me that that was a Ford Anglia. I might be wrong, but I'm sure that's what she swapped it for this Beetle. She paid, if you look down there, £662. So obviously the Beetle was worth considerably more. So she paid that much extra, as well as trading in her Ford Anglia. And that was, yeah, somewhere in London. So that is a really cool piece of information. That shows that she has owned the vehicle from new. And then you've got all the usual service records and things like that. What can we see in here? A few numbers and stuff, I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. Somewhere in here, there's stamps. Yeah, so you've got your really early service stamps. What's the mileage on them? 9,500 up to 13,000, it looks like, around there. So it's cool to have that bit of history. You've obviously then got your original manual, which is all your instructions as to how to operate the Volkswagen Beetle. That's cool to have. You've got your usual stuff like your really old MOTs. These bits here there's absolutely, no, sorry, not those bits, over here we are. These bits is pages and pages and pages of MOTs. And this was from 1982, which would have been about its last year on the road. I think that goes back to the 70s, yeah, the late 70s. So there's loads of them in there. All the same garage, which was Colburn Garage Limited, which is in Surrey, yeah, Ripley, Surrey. So it's amazing that it's gone to that same garage for pretty much its whole life on the road. Then you've got a few other bits, your VW distributors and dealers. That's just sort of a manual, some of the bit of paperwork that came with it. What else we got? Yeah, the cool little things like this. You've got the reg written down on here, which was a Gatwick Airport parking pass by the looks of things, so maybe that's where she worked. I'm not sure about that though. And then in here, which is another really cool thing, you may have seen these before, is an AA key, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that they were used for the phone boxes. When you broke down, there was AA phone boxes dotted around the UK, and if you broke down, you could use this key to unlock the phone box and call for your breakdown assistance. And then there's a few other just general receipts for, you know, MOT work and stuff like that. But having all of that is absolutely fantastic, and the fact that her name's written all over everything, that shows that it really was a one owner car for most of its life. One thing I nearly forgot is the tax disc, 31st of the 7th 1983. That is when the vehicle was last taxed. That's when the vehicle was last on the road, and it was £80 to tax that vehicle for a year back then, which was a lot of money, I think, considering they're now free. But I think that was a lot of money for an old Beetle back in 1983. So that, if my maths is correct, is 20 years that this vehicle was on the road for in total, and hopefully we'll see the road again very soon. So yeah, there's a long list of jobs to do to the car still. It is currently unbolted from its chassis, so it needs bolting back down. The repairs need blending and protecting and everything else. Obviously, it will need brakes and all the usual bits as well. These are the original back wings. They were pretty bad. I spoke to my welder about welding them up, and basically I just couldn't afford how much he wanted to do it. It was a very time-consuming job. So I've basically had to go myself. It's not the best ever, but I've cut sections off two other wings and sort of welded them in all the way along. And of course, used a little bit of filler. They're definitely not perfect, but you know, instead of throwing them away, I thought I'd have a go. And I've had to put a little bit of fiberglass here and there to give them a bit of strength. But as their original paint, you know, it would be too much of a crime to throw them away and start again. So yeah, that's the wings. And it's probably worth mentioning just before someone comments and says, that wing's not original paint. Yes, I know, this wing is not original paint. I think it is an original wing, or possibly the original wing, but it's obviously had a blowover. The colour's slightly different to the rest of them. So I'll be getting my patina skills out and trying to blend that a little bit as well. So that's pretty much where we're up to with this. It's going to be a bit of an ongoing project. So if you like what you see, give us a like and a subscribe, and you'll be able to follow the progress of this Beetle. It's not going to actually end up looking that different when I'm finished with it, because I want to preserve the original paint, blend in the repairs that it's had, and basically make it look like it's just been dragged out that garage and put on the road. So I'll catch you soon.